Greetings. Today is Tuesday, January 10th. I'm at the Decatur, or the Major Herbert R. Dexter U.S. Army Reserve Center, facility IL-021. There's my face. And I arrived at 8 o'clock this morning. Sorry, a little bit before that, maybe closer to 7:45, I think. Popped open all the doors to the facility, so I can try and make sure we get some clear air going in here. So the backstory is we had two water lines break in the building, upstairs and downstairs, sometime over the weekend of December 23rd to 27th. I know that when I left the facility on December 22nd, I worked from home that next day due to my wife's illness. It was fine in here. And then when I came back on the morning of the 27th, after the Christmas holiday, the two lines were broken. We theorized that because the weather turned cold here, it went from 31 degrees to -9 degrees on the evening of Friday, December 23rd, and there was a power failure that day, according to our facility manager, Henry Milton, that probably the line broke sometime that afternoon or evening. But all of that is conjecture. Bottom line, we came into about a ½ inch to 3/4 of an inch of water on 80% of the upstairs, and or maybe 60% of the upstairs, and I think 80% of the downstairs of the facility. So I came back, we told the preventative maintenance team, we told Hank, the area facility operations specialist, who had the PM team come out here and shut off the water as quickly as they could. But by that time, we already had extensive flooding and some ceiling damage in here, which we'll see in a minute. Bottom line, he said that he had the preventive maintenance team do cleanup, brought Surfro in here to suction up all the water off the floor, that sort of thing, that subsequent week after Christmas. I came back after the New Year's federal holiday on January, forget the exact date, I think January 3rd, and it smelled exceedingly moldy in the upstairs and downstairs bathroom. I was only able to be here for 45 minutes before I started having coughing fits. In any case, that's why I returned here with a protective mask. We were denied permission to do mold testing. I guess just basically due to the expense. Our area facility operations specialist has his spending limit capped at $2,000 for any sort of cleanup effort unless he gets special permission to exceed that, which he didn't. He came in here at about 9 o'clock a.m. on Friday, January 6th. Oops, sorry, it's suddenly gotten very not light in here. There we go. Left a note on my desk saying that he smelled the building, couldn't smell any mold, thinks it's habitable again. Guidance I got from my higher headquarters, SSA, Mr. Lindsay, was to open all the doors and just try to air out the building as best I can, which we have. Doing it only for an hour today, just simply because I forgot my DA civilian ID at home and I need to run home, and I'm not leaving the facility open. I am at the same time trying to look for signs of mold. Anything visible? Not seeing it yet. There wasn't nearly as much water in here though, and nothing that dripped from the ceiling in this part of the building. So I'm not really expecting to see anything in here. There's water in here, but just on the floor. I don't see anything low enough to have gotten soaked. Same story here. And the walls are all concrete, so I mean that wouldn't have been too bad. I don't know what the hell that is, but I don't remember anything dripping from the ceiling in this room. I definitely don't know what sort of splatter that is. Certainly is interesting though. was a high water mark in here. This room had water dripping down from the ceiling, and you can still see some of the residuals over here. Yeah, the water was aggressively dripping down from the ceiling in here. I don't see any water still up there. That may very well have dried. I don't know that doesn't necessarily mean it didn't quite mold. Surprised not to see more water damage on the ceiling. And there wasn't ever any water inside the vault. We did take a look, and the water never made it across the top of the threshold here, so that part was good at least. Gonna continue to keep the fan blowing here just to see what the hell is happening. Water damage, water damage. Look, some water damage here. In this office, there was definitely standing water in here, but I don't remember anything dripping from the ceiling in this office. I don't remember a whole lot of standing water in here, except for kind of at the entrance to the room. Oh, well, water damage on 3 ceiling tiles here. Now, interesting side note. Nope. Interesting side note. There wasn't a whole lot of extensive flooding in this room, per se, but I did notice something interesting. I did have this book of policy memos up on the windowsill. You can see that definitely there was some water seepage down the walls onto it. You still see it's a little bit water damage here at the top. In fact, I'm a little confused because I thought I remember this being soaked. Now it does seem to have dried. You can see where water just dripped down into the front of the binder here, though. So, I mean, water did consolidate on the walls just because the lower water main that broke was a heating main. And it just flooded the facility with hot, steamy air for probably the better part of 4 days, because we think it ruptured on the 23rd, and we didn't discover it until close to 0900 hours, I think, on the 27th. So it was a very hot, steamy environment in here for several days. So even though it didn't flood, steam permeated everything, but you can't see a whole lot of ceiling tile damage except for over there. And you can see I really am not a building engineer. I mean, I guess that could be where water dripped onto. I don't really know. It's a stain. I don't know what the cause is for that. But yeah, I mean, water obviously wouldn't collect on a surface like that, so I'm going to shut up about things I don't know about. Water damage in the upper left-hand corner of the first sergeant's office. This bathroom smelled like 100 moldy loaves of bread when I came in here on Monday, or whatever day that was, Tuesday the 3rd. Now, when I last smelled it, I'm reluctant to take my mask off again. I mean, it still smells moldy in here. I smelled it not long after I opened the doors. I'm not going to do that again now. We're going to see, though, if airing out this room improves anything. I do not see any obvious mold in here. In fact, I don't even see water damage. Although the amount of water on the floor in here was definitely excessive. This is a maintenance access passage. It's not locked, I just can't get my fingernails in here. This should do the trick. The thing that concerns me about the guidance to just open up all the doors and just sort of let it naturally air itself out is areas like this that aren't easy to air out. I mean, I'm a skinny guy and this is barely shoulder width. But this is also dry. Again, don't see any standing water or anything like that right on the interior part of the building. Side note, this building has plans dated just a few years ago that indicate that there is asbestos in the tiles, that is ceiling tiles and floor tiles, and I think it also said something about there being asbestos in the walls. Allegedly, I believe in the 2020 timeframe that was supposed to have been taken out. I don't know if it actually was. I know that it was rumored to have happened according to our facility manager, Hank Melton, and according to Mr. Lindsay, our FSA at the battalion. But nobody can actually remember it happening, and the bottom level of the facility does not look fundamentally different in any way, shape, or form, which makes me skeptical. I think possibly what happened, and again, conjecture, is that there was a contract scheduled to remove said asbestos, scheduled to coincide roughly with when COVID happened. Obviously, that wasn't known to people working here at the time. In fact, our full-time unit staff, past and present, who was here at the time, did very much in anticipation of that contract move all of their stuff from this lower office to the upstairs. But then, from what I can hear from I can remember from them, Sergeant Ao said that he doesn't think that anything actually happened. He didn't know it was asbestos removal. He thought it was just remodeling. He said he didn't remember anything happening. Chief Steele, our commander, says that he's pretty sure that did happen sometime between when everyone was sent to work from home for COVID and when they all started coming back, but we don't have an exact date or any certification or anything like that. It may well have happened. I'm just not seeing a whole lot of evidence of it. It's just a rumor that it did at this point. Whereas I do have facility plans indicating that on the material data safety sheets that there is definitely, or at least there was in 2020, asbestos in the walls. I definitely sleep a lot better at night if we were able to get some sort of certification saying that the building was cleared of anything except for trace amounts of asbestos. I know it's almost impossible to remove completely because they wrapped it around the pipes, they put it in the insulation, they put it everywhere. Taking this home with me, there's a note that Hank left for me. And I really don't mean to be critical of anybody, but at the same time, wait, why did I close that? This will leave open. At the same time, I figure better safe than sorry. I'd like to we don't have any mold or asbestos testing scheduled. As it currently stands, based on this note on the door, there isn't any scheduled to happen either. It seems like the plan is basically just to pretend that this didn't happen. And our soldiers actually have to work here, so I'll just feel a lot better knowing that an expert came in here, an unbiased expert came in here and said, yes, I certify that this building is safe everyone come on back to work. There's no mold, there's no asbestos, there's nothing that's going to affect your health. Then also a concern is, because I come earlier than all the rest of my full-time staff does, and I told my staff about the issue, Sergeant Ayo, Sergeant Jamaica, well before they arrived. I was the only person who was here on Tuesday the 3rd and had that coughing fit. Sergeant Jamaica said that it smelled bad and he came in the next day to forgot what he was doing. I think he needed to pick up something for a USARC-10 and we were doing a battalion. Sergeant Jamaica said he thought it didn't smell that bad. I don't think he stayed in the facility that long or toured it as extensively as I did. He said he didn't use the bathrooms, which is the trouble spot that I found. But in any case, my point, basically this is at this point my word against his. Well, Sergeant Ayo would back me up that it smelled bad both of the times that he was in here, and it smelled like mold and he saw the standing water. That's well documented. I YouTubed it. There were about a dozen witnesses that came in here when it was still bloody. That much isn't in doubt, but I was the only person that actually had a medical reaction to that event. I don't know, is it actually caused by it, or is it just totally a coincidence? But I just happened to develop a cough that just sort of kicked in right at the time I came to the facility that morning. Weirder things have happened. I know I didn't make up that I had a cough. In fact, I still have a little bit of one now, even a week later. Anyway, not seeing a whole lot of mold up here either. Sorry for being a motor mouth over the video, but